Hello, everyone. No lights on. Chirpy's almost 6 a.m. Sorry about that. Hey, Wazza. 624 Dudley's regular. Skyline. G'day. A few. Don't do this to me, please. Oh, g'day. Chirp's there. Hey, Peter Knott's there. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. I've done everything I can, I think, to make our connection half reasonable. Apologise if it's going to cut in and out. I really don't want it to. So what's happening? What's the highlights of this week? Couple of videos from Craig. One of them's unlisted. Is Craig in? Craig's not in yet. Is Craig there? We'll wait till Craig's in. We want to get to that, but we will wait till Craig's in. What's everyone else up to? Brendan Gill's here. Happy still? Saw the engine running on air on Instagram. And Paul's there at his workshop, also happy. The new workshop, that looks great. Dan Shed, Fridge, g'day. Fridge is looking for a set of articles from Australian Model Engineer magazine. If anyone's got issues 45 to 50 from 1993, give us a shout out. Really appreciate a copy. So there's someone's got them to hand, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 and 50. No, last part of 1992, the end of 1993. We're looking for an article out of that. So if anyone's got it, Fridge is looking for it, I can pass them on, no worries at all, and might keep a copy for myself. No, that's the Australian Model Engineer, AME magazine. It's now no longer operating, but unfortunately, but it's a good mag. Anyway, Craig's here. So I'm late, huh? Yeah, I like the first version better. A cup of tea. Little Miss Bossy mug, that's me. Actually, it's not really, but anyway. Couple of good videos from Craig, now he's here. There's a video about his new Shaper, which unfortunately the peer pressure in the Discord group made him buy, and I really feel apologetic for that, but now he's got some... Look, put it this way, his basement's not going to blow away. And Ask Stephen Lang's here too. A new video from Ask Stephen Lang, which I apologise, I haven't actually seen yet, which is on the list of things to watch tonight. There was also a video, Craig's still a minute behind. There's also a really good video from Craig showing tour. It's quite a long video, but a tour around Bill Baggins' knife making workshop, which was pretty good. Should absolutely totally watch that. Craig might put up a link. He really should. I haven't seen Bill, but he's not here, so we're going to just do it. If you put up a link, Craig, everyone can bookmark, because I think it's unlisted yet, but it's very good. So that's an exclusive. You saw that here. Actually, you would have seen it in Discord if you'd been there, but hey, look, go and check out our Discord, because all the good contacts over there, all the exclusive stuff. I was going to steam this little engine. We ought to get that underway. I still haven't found a funnel. Got no idea where it is. Seriously got no idea where my funnel went. Oh, water on my micrometer, that's not good. I'll put that away. But managed to fill this up, which took a bit of doing, but we managed to do it. And we're going to do that the hard way too. And the hard way being just fill it up and then wipe all the excess up. Because absolutely no idea where there's a funnel. Set the table on fire. It's only methylated spirit, so it's not going to do a lot of damage really. I don't know how much room's here. There we go. Let's see if we can get that in there without spilling anything. There we go. Cold water in this because I filled it up about half an hour ago, so there we go. A new video from Stephen. I've got no idea where the funnel is. I've got no idea. There's a longer list of things I don't know where they are than there was a week ago, to be honest. Somewhere I've got a HP laptop that's of uncertain age and probably good enough to run the Gerbil software for the laser cutter. No idea where the cord is, so I had to order another one of them, so that'll probably turn up at some point. Dream Sim, g'day. Fire extinguisher's here too somewhere if we need it, but I don't think we will. Meant to buy a new one, wrote on my hand before I left work this morning. Didn't happen, sorry. Filled it up with rolled up newspaper. Oh my gosh, Dream Team, that's no good. Hope you're okay. I hope your house is still standing and still salvageable and it doesn't have to be bulldozed and start again. I don't know how much water you're under, but that's not good. Fill us in with the details. We're all interested. Don't. Now you've said that, please just put all the details on here because we'd all be fairly interested to hear. I know Stefan's all right because I talked to him. No good over there, no good at all. Sorry to hear about that. Hey JB, who else has turned up? Jim Minnick, g'day. JB says Bruce Witham had a bad Sunday in hospital, but due out any day, a fracture below the knee with a motorbike accident. I did hear that, and I was probably going to say something. It's not really my place to say, but thanks, JB, for sharing that. Just in case you didn't see that comment, Dream Sensitive, everything's okay, but a whole lot to do. Make a video, family is fine. Please make a video, yeah. Everything else will be done new. Thanks for your kind words. It's a pity, yeah. Good luck with it. It's sort of setback. I'd hate that. I wonder how much water you got. It's a bit rough. It's starting to warm up. What did I do this weekend? Not very much, to be honest. Yeah, messed around upstairs with a 3D printer. Nothing anyone needs to see. It's completely off the record and unrelated to this channel, so I won't share that. Because I know you're all going to ask. And I was surprised that Craig beat Fridge, but he's doing good. Laser project's coming along, yeah. Locomotive project's coming along too. Been working on these. These are pretty well finished except for springs and bolts through the middle. There's the buffers, these short ones on the back, which have got a spring or a screw down inside so that they don't poke out past the end. These are for the tender. And there's longer ones here. It's in the wrong one. That's the tender one. And this one's for the locomotive with a little step on it too, so that goes on. Oh no, that's for the tender as well. This one's for the locomotive. It's the long one. We've got little steps on them. Still got to drill 4 holes in these and 4 holes in each of the buffer beams and put 4 bolts in them, but they're not looking bad. Bit of messing around in them, but that's 4 more castings finished, 8 more castings finished. These are cast iron castings too. But they come up all right. Really like them. Got to find some springs for them. Hi Tom, good to see you. Hope you got that tree cleaned up this morning. The jolly natural disasters everywhere. Looks like you're probably late for work, but made it home okay. So, and sort of tragic if you're late twice in one day. So you're doing all right. If anyone missed that, Fridge is looking. Dan Shed, Fridge Martin's looking for issues 45 to 50 of Australian Model Engineer magazine from 1992. So if anyone's got a copy of them, dig them out and screenshot some pictures of the build, and we'd really appreciate it. Yeah, go and subscribe to Age Workshop. He's a good guy. It's warming up. Sorry, it's going to take a little while. But Fridge in particular wanted to see, if you ever build this locomotive, this engine, this little engine is the Kenneth Wills School Traction engine. I did a whole series on it. It's really a very pretty little engine, and it's quite a good runner. And it's it's kind of a universal model engineering course on its own if you get the book and the articles. The book covers everything from castings, which I cast these wheels, through to the sheet metal work, through the boiler work, through the engineering and the machining, the sheet metal, testing the boiler, bit of decorative stuff. It's quite an in-depth look at everything you need to build this, and you'll learn a lot if you build it. But if you do build it, don't make the roof out of copper because it gets too hot to touch. Chris is the man. That's excellent. Thanks, Fridge. Another thing that I did with this engine I shouldn't have done, and that was I made this plate out of brass. It said steel or brass, and I actually made the main engine frame out of brass. That's getting pretty warm there. And bit of a mistake actually, because these bearings, when the engine's cold, are really, really loose. When it warms up, they tighten up a bit. So the holes have got to be loose or the metal expands too much. We're getting a dribble out that cylinder there. And hydraulic lock, obviously. Hey, Journeyman Randy, g'day. So this is a pretty little engine. It runs pretty sweetly actually. Stuck in neutral. I haven't got the belt on this. The belt's actually on my coat hanger project. At this point, I need to get some more belts at some point. We've also had a bit of an injury there. This pipe doesn't line up with the chimney. Must have got bent. I can fix that next time. Dan just walked past there. Everyone can see Dan, obviously. He's got motorbike problems over there. He's going to start it and see if it works. Give us a second there, guys. Dan's got the flasher stuck on the motorbike. If we look down there, we can probably see that, but they've been on for 2 days. Don't know why, but the battery's gone flat. There we go. Anyway, that's for fridge. You give that a run. It won't hurt to have a run. Plenty of steam with that. It's not a very big engine. But it's a pretty tidy, nice runner actually. It's not a bad little engine. Absolutely. Well worth the trouble if you want to build an engine. If you're thinking, oh gosh, I'd like to buy a Mammoth to mess around with, or a Willesco or whatever, and you've got a lathe and a vise and a file and some other tools, honestly, give this a go, because castings are available online. The book's now back in print. after many years of not being in print. It's pretty heavy. Well, it's hot. And it's not a bad project at all. It's absolutely a fantastic project, and at whatever level you want to build it. This canopy is probably an extra. I put a decent safety valve in it, but it's quite loud. It's got a knock in it, and I apologise for that, but that's the bearings there. If they're any tighter, they don't work. But the bench is a bit of a soundbite too, but it's got a bit of a knock in it probably. It's done a lot of miles, so it's run a fair bit. If I leave that there running like that safety valve will pop off pretty quick. But yeah, it's a fairly noisy little engine, absolutely. When that safety valve goes, you'll know about it. That's actually a Titch locomotive safety valve, and it's pretty well designed. So when it pops, it pops. It's not just a dribbly screw that lifts out and lets water out. You'll know about it if that pops. If it doesn't pop, it'll go bang, I guess. But pretty little engine, good runner, well made, lots of little finishing touches that make it a pretty nice little engine, really. I really want to empty the boiler and give it a run until it stops, because that won't hurt. Can put some bushes in, absolutely. The trouble is, if they're any tighter, because it's a brass frame, it really needs a steel frame. Because it's any tighter, they seize up when it's cold. That was a mistake, but it's only a toy, and it's really a kid's toy that was made by kids back in the day. So we've got a fairly leaky engine there. Yeah, this is too hot to touch, Chirp. Like way too hot to touch. The thing's got some heat in it sitting there. I'm not going to sit here and wait for that safety valve to go. I've got better things to do. So slowing down there. Probably nearly done. Don't know how much more water's in the boiler, how much I actually put in. But yeah, it runs pretty quick, and it's not a bad little engine at all. Looking for a model engineering project to start off? That's really, it's right up the top of the list, actually. Seriously nice little engine to build. I really always impressed with that. The book is Kenneth Wells' Step-by-Step Metalwork Volume 3. Step by Step Metalwork Volume 3. Camden Books republished it very recently, so it's available even as a PDF or as an ebook download for about £7, something like that. There we go. I think we're out of water. We're not out of mess there. So there we go. I've got an original copy, but it's the book Camden Miniature Services have it anyway. Other things that have happened this week. Look at this. Paul, email me about the book because I can probably help out with that. Probably Craig can too, but we'll wipe up the oil slick. This is a work in progress. This is the laser cutter as we speak. I'm going to move back over here, I think. I don't know if that's a real good angle. Sorry. That rattles me doing up the clamp again on the edge of the bench. Okay, we'll try that. So we've had JB, thanks for this. Thanks for your help and everyone else as well. We've actually reinforced this. Found another piece for underneath. And we've got all the steppers in place. We're waiting on the rods and the laser. That's about all we're waiting for, actually. And a few other improvements. I've just put wood screws to hold this together, and I really don't like it. So I'm going to get some T-nuts and put in the back here. So that everything's M4 T-nuts and make a decent job of it, I think. Gerbil at this point. So steppers are in place here. The bearing runners for the belts are all in place. Don't know if they're the right way around yet. We'll find out, I guess. Printed a box. Look, go and check out with the B on it. If you can see the B there, maybe. But really nice knife. Go and check him out. Australian knife makers are few and far between and need to be cultivated on all levels. So this goes in there, and these are all together, and they've got bearings in them and everything else, and they've got one of them goes here, or one of them goes over. One of them goes here, and one of them goes here. There's two rods between there, and they slide up. That one slides on that one, and the belt notches in here and pulls it backwards and forwards. And there's two rods through here that this one slides up and down on too. Hopefully, if we get it all together, it might work. So that's coming together. I'm waiting for rods, which will probably be here Friday. So maybe next week we might have some actual bits working, which is pretty awesome. Don't need much else. Which will be here third week in August, apparently. It's a bit of a pain because you can't really buy anything locally at the right price, and you can't really buy anything locally that's what you want either. And pulleys, everything else is there. So I've got roller belting. Hope that's enough. And everything else. So it's coming together. I'm really starting to get excited about that. I have had the stepper motors working on the program, so I'm pretty confident about that. I don't think there'll be any problems with that. That was the thing that was worrying me a bit. If we can get the laser working on the program too, we'll be doing even better. Belt has to do 2 laps, that's right, but I think we've got enough. So yeah, that's the story of my life, Peter. But anyway, that kind of humour belongs on Discord. If you're into that kind of humour, go and check out Discord. Really, I shouldn't say that. I don't say it enough. You probably should go and check it out. They're a great bunch of guys. They have a lot of fun. And fun place to hang out if you're there 5 minutes a week, or if you're like some of them and they're 24/7. So Discord server, I haven't got a link. All weirdos, Chirpy says, that's right. But they're decent guys, and they've got lots of information, and they're pretty good at stuff. So that's about all I've done this weekend. I cut this out basically with the scroll saw and filed up the middle to make it look nice, and cut the outside with the power saw, lined up all the holes. 3D printed the Arduino cage, which I've been really pleased with. Tidied all that up. Had to adjust these posts. I think I've done this right, JB. If JB's there. I had to adjust these because the thickness is different to his, so I adjusted the height on these, and I think I worked out how to do that, and they should be right. So everything should line up. When we put this together, the pulleys on the bottom should line up with the bearing pulleys on the other bits as well. Anyway, there's the Discord link. Thanks, Craig. Really appreciate that. But go and check them out because they're a good bunch. And if you want someone to hang out with, or even someone to talk to if you're in lockdown or whatever, there's no real serious sort of qualifications to join in. You just got to be able to hold your own in an argument or a discussion or anything else. And if you, I imagine most of you can. So, freaking lockdown. Wazza, how are you managing with lockdown? Who else is in Sydney? Struggling a bit with it. Oh yeah, I've got a message to say BMS 250 Fords there. That's awesome. Good to see you. No work this week, off next week. That's a bit rough, Warren. You have to get that milling machine going. No lockdown here at this point with masks, and I was in a casual contact spot last weekend, but no one seems to have worried too much about that. So obviously it's not a huge problem. Getting a bit sick of it though. Don't know if there's much else really. Fridge is working in a hospital. He's done a cushy job. Congrats on the new job. Congrats on the new mill. Fridge, new mill today for Fridge Martin, for Dan Shed. Like to see a video on it. Don't think it's going to happen, but we can live in hope. And picked up a mill today and brought it home, so he's probably staffed. A big job to move a mill. If you're talking about a video fridge, we ought to see a video, absolutely. Not a big deal, and you can just do it. Yeah, the COVID test's not fun. I've had it once. It's really not fun at all. But I guess everyone here's had it at some point. JB's disappeared, but I've got 1,000 questions, JB, and 1,000 questions anyway. But this little laser cutter's starting to come together, and there's still a fair bit of work on it. And there's a few things that are still got to be worked out once we get everything up and running. Like, I think there's got to be a spacer underneath here, so that it's parallel all the way around, and whether it's just a block of timber or whether I find some actual aluminium rail or what I do, I don't know yet. I've got some aluminium 80-20 rail there. I don't know if that's thick enough or too thick. Probably it needs to be about 30 mil or something like that. So anyway, we're still working on that. So, there you go. Bought some bolts for the Stewart 400. Don't know if they're the right ones actually, but they're there. I'm going to start pulling that down at some point and running it in to see if we can seat the valves a bit better and seat the rings a bit better. So that's something else. It's an Arduino Uno and a shield board of some sort, Gerbil shield board and 4 driver boards. Don't know. Couldn't tell you the numbers offhand, Kevin, sorry. But yeah, 40-40 or 30-30 or something like that, it wants under it. I think it'd be really nice to make a good job of it. But we'll see. So that's starting to come together reasonably well, and there's still a lot of bits to go on it. And when we get the rods on, we can see if we can actually get the thing aligned, which may or may not be a thing. I don't know. Sort of may be more difficult than it looks. These are 25 mil, I guess they're inch. But that's lifted everything off the ground, and it's probably nearly enough, but I don't know about laser focus yet, so squared everything up. Yeah, 4988 sounds right, but I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I'm downstairs at the moment. So next job with it really is to get the computer running it down here with an old laptop and see if we can get the steppers running properly again. And then some shafts might be here by the weekend, and we can put them all together and we can see if we can get things going backwards and forwards. Leveling feet sound like a bit too much messing around, Chirpy, but I don't know. I think all it needs, probably, realistically, is a strip of timber down each side, but we'll see. Trying not to spend too much money on it at this point. So thanks to Craig and to his mate Jeff on Hobart Makers. Thanks for that, Kevin, thanks. Anyway, thanks to them for making this all work, because I was struggling with it a lot last week. I had motors sort of working, but they've gone through a couple of like full cycles and CNC cycles, and they all seem to work now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Just a matter of hooking it up. So, what else? Probably not very much. Oh, well, really got not very much to say. It's a bit like that. Not a crazy busy day at work. Didn't do very much, to be honest. And when I did, actually, I got stuff done, and we got through quotes and stuff, and double ship time, but double quick time, but yeah. Did we get the toilet parts made up and printed okay? Yeah, these pieces here, they're already on here. Go create. G'day, Nigel. This is my chair, Stuart. Sorry, it's got a squeak in it. Don't know how to fix that. It's driving me crazy, but I don't know. We could find another chair probably. These are hopefully the right height to make everything match up. They've got to match up with the stepper motors and those bearings over there. These ones here, we've got to line up with these ones in the same height. So that's why this height here is critical. Inox might be the answer. Never ever thought of that. Hang on, I'll be back. Right. So this is where it's squeaking. I can see why, because all these bolts are loose. That could be all that's wrong. I bet this is the wrong Allen key. Yep, not even close. I saw that bolt on the floor. I know what that's out of now. There you go. Still way too big. All the bolts are falling out of it. That's probably all the problem is. If I tighten that one up, which isn't the original one by a chance, and tighten that one up, still squeaking down here somewhere. Anyone got any thoughts on that? This stuff is Audi signal spray lubricant. We'll try that. Let's try again. Well, that's about 10, but it's not perfect anyway. Anyway, take care, Kevin. Good to see you. Zip ties, duct tape, and WD-40. We're sorted. How's the new lady, Stephen? Anyway, that's sort of not really fixed that. I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, might have to put up with it. Looking at the boiler for this locomotive, that's just something else I've been looking at. Don't know if I've actually learnt anything, but let's get this out. Where's the 400 at, Craig says? Over there. There's the 400 at. The 400 at's over there, see? Got bolts, going to pull it down, going to run the rings in properly and put it back together and see how we go. Start from the bottom up. That's the plan. So I've got new bolts to bolt it all together. It's got a riser under it. Probably going to spend a weekend on that. Gazelle's over there in the corner next to the mongoose, which is there. And then the Gazelle's sort of behind the 400 there, but the Gazelle's a bit tired actually. There's no mysteries of the universe. It's just that you got to listen. That's all. Sorry, chirp. Don't want to be that person, but that's how it is. Got to listen. And it's not even a matter of just pretending you heard. You've actually got to listen. That's the secret. Right. But 42 is probably the next closest answer. This big girl. Got this casting here, which I may or may not use. That's awesome, Stephen. Which is a smoke box saddle casting. It might just clean up. I think all it needs is a file up because it's that close to fitting. Like it's seriously close, just rough. I'm not sure how much machining it's actually going to get, but it needs sitting in there wherever it goes, there somewhere. And there's a row of bolts go along each side, which means that the cylinders have got to come off. It's a big job to fit that piece, right? These have got to be drilled too on the front here for the buffers. We'll turn this around. It's a pretty solid lump of iron. But these have got to be sorted out. So I've got to pull this buffer beam off as well to do that, I think, and put these in place, one each side. These have actually been threaded, which is all right if you're using round buffers, because these have got a step on them and they're square. You can't really thread them in and expect them to line up. So I'm just going to put 4 screws in them, but these need to be drilled out. So on that note, this has all got to come apart. And we need to put these in place. One there and one there. So if we do that, where do you stop? Because you can't really fit this at this point until the boiler's in place. Although you probably can, because that gives you the height for everything. Is that the way you would do it, is to fit this first? I'm not sure. But to do this, we've got to take the cylinders off and got to take most of the bits off to get to that. It's a big job, like crazy big job. So feel disinclined at this point to strip this down and put it back together. I've already done it a couple of times and it's a bit of a job. But At some point that's going to happen. And it's just a matter of working out all the other jobs we can do at the same time. This is just bolted up, so this should just slide off the front here and we can fix this and put it back on, I hope. That's the theory. And then we could probably sort out the smoke box anyway, if nothing else, and get that in place on top here. I've got the castings for that. Which is about all the castings that are left, actually, are that pile of castings. So, give you some idea. I don't know if that gives you any idea at all. There's the door. But putting a boiler on it's going to bulk that up pretty well. And if we put that on there, there's the chimney that goes on top. So probably we could, if we got this on, we could get the smoke box on and then we start thinking about a boiler. Boiler's copper. Probably going to do it myself. The flat copper kit from AJ Reeves in England is 550 British pounds. That translates to, I don't know, at the moment over $1,000. Not a good time at the moment to probably buy it. The pound's right up against the dollar. Is that good or bad? Pound strong anyway. It's bad. So the other thing is that we've got a drawing that we haven't got a clue whether it's even up to spec or whether anything needs to be changed or whether everything needs to be changed, depending on who you talk to. Talk to some boiler inspectors and they say, oh, it's right out of date and it's never going to actually, it needs a complete redesign from the ground up. And talk to someone else. I mean, my club inspector, I did have a chat with him once upon a time about it and he said, oh, there won't be much that needs changing on that. So really not sure about that at this point, but there's a copper boiler on it. Probably I'm going to source the copper bit by bit locally because that's the most cost-effective way to do it. But Belpaire firebox, tapered barrel. It's about 100mm at the front, and it sits somewhere between here and here. So it's with the smoke box. It's not a huge boiler without the smoke box. So there we go. Matty's Workshop, good day, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Really good to see you. Hope you're okay. Hope you're doing okay. Been meaning to give you a call one night, but just hasn't happened. I'm sorry about that. Texted you a couple of times and didn't get a response. So I hope everything's okay. So, last part I made on this was the lubricator, which has got steam oil all yellow all over it. But another job that we probably need to do while we've got this apart, if we pull the bumper beam off, is to put this eccentric on that eccentric sheave on that eccentric with a rod between it to operate this lubricator on the front here, which is so that's something we need to do. We also need to fix this leak under here somewhere, which happened at some point while I was moving, because it wasn't leaking before, but it's got a pipe leak somewhere and I don't know where that is. Probably it's up here and it's running back down the pipe because it's not tight there. Hopefully that's all it is. So there's a non-return valve in the top, and a little oscillating, like a backwards oscillating steam engine, I guess, with a ratchet on the side. So that, you see that piston going around in there, and that picks up oil, and the plunger pumps it back through the system into the steam line. Hopefully, maybe, probably, might work or might not under pressure. Malcolm Till, good day. Warren Wise has mouldy problems, yeah. Casual Steel, good day. Mart's Garage, hello, good to see you all. So, sort of made a bit of a resolution here with this locomotive in that I don't really want any of these caps to be floating and come off in transit and get lost and have to make them every time you come home. That's a real pain in the neck. So I've got a hinge door on the top here. And water tanks and things like that will have the same hinges, or they'll have decent hinges on them so that you don't have to worry about losing bits. That's sort of something that I'd like to do with this locomotive all the way through, if we possibly can. Loose bits are all right if it sits on the track all day, but this one won't. So, they're the only castings left. And John Creasy, g'day. I wonder how John's getting on with lockdown. Wonder if you heard the news about Bruce. Meant to message you and tell you when I heard, but hasn't happened. I didn't talk to Bruce yet, and I did sort of intend to call him tonight, and I haven't got there, but he's probably busy. Bruce had a motorbike accident and a fracture, I think, so he'll be sitting down for a bit. Won't hurt him. To be honest, but anyway, JB come in and shared the news with the group, so yeah. John's had the second shot. He's yep, going full-blown conspiracy theory there. I tried to make a booking today to get mine done, but I can't. So I'm going to have to keep trying and see if I can get on someone's list, I guess. Do spoons and forks stick to your arm, John? And people want to know. This thing's got oil all over everything. I think that this pipe's loose is probably the problem. See, that's never been put together properly. It needs tightening up. Some lock nuts and things on it. So that's a job too. That's a fair point, John. Anyway, so that's all that's happening really. Not a lot of news. I don't know if I did very much this last weekend that's camera worthy, so there we go. If someone wants a job to come and pull this to bits and put it back together, I'd be very, very grateful. But I guess it'll happen. There's a lot of bits to come off. It's been in part a couple of times. I really don't want to do it again, but it's not going to be the last time either, so we might as well. It's a matter of finding the height of this and cleaning it up, and then probably marking it properly and all that sort of stuff before we even think about pulling it down. So, anyway, don't know if there's much else to say, really. Appreciate you all tuning in, I really do. Hope it hasn't been too choppy or too many problems with the reception. At some point, in the next few weeks, I'm going to run out of things to do on this, and I'm going to get back and rebuild the Stuart 400 from the ground up and make sure everything's right and see if it'll run again. I think it's probably a expedient thing to build it up and run the valves in a bit, but we'll see. So there had to be parts left over, Maddie says. Not really, no. All the bits have places for them, and honestly, they could all do with a bit of steel wool and a bit of a clean up. And yeah, I'm sort of, it's a big job to pull that apart and put it back together. Anyway, getting sleepy. It might be upstairs on Discord anyway. Matt's Garage says, are you happy in your new place? Now you've had time to settle in. Love it. Actually, the workshop's good. It's hardly big enough. I say that now. I haven't got a lot of space here. Everyone who's suggesting I buy new machines and things. For parcel going to Wazza, I haven't heard whether he's organised someone to pick that up. But when that's gone, I'll have a bit more room. And there's could do with another cupboard or two at some point. Craig's done that. Now, I promised Poppy, as per his email, and I know he's watching this, waiting and hanging on and waiting for this information. And I don't have the information, which is the reason I haven't really done it. Craig's mentioned that elephant in the room, which is TMC 2021. This is the first time I've said it out loud, so give me credit for that. It's the first time. It will probably happen. I'm fairly look, I've had offers from all past winners really to support the contest, and I really appreciate that. I really don't like taking advantage of these guys' generosity because it's a pretty thankless thing to do, is to support something like that. So we may have a complete rewrite of the rules. I'd really like to do something. There's been many ideas tossed around, like there really has. There's been some really good ideas. It's a matter of working out exactly how it's going to work, and I'll have a talk to Stephen Lang at some point, and I haven't even got a dot point list to put together and say, hey, look, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? What are your feelings? Can you give me some feedback on this? Because I really don't have that information. So it's not something I'm just going to ignore, and it will probably start to develop over the next little while. But at this point, I'm feeling a bit lost about it, actually, and a complete redesign of the whole competition is something that needs to be done, but it's certainly a difficult thing to work out how to actually make it work. So that's my actual thoughts on it at this point. And at some point, I guess, there will be some more formation of that, and we might actually end up with a competition or some sort of an event anyway, which would be great fun. Peter's just waiting for the nod to start. Better get a video up first and start a video channel so that we know where to look, Peter. In what way to redesign it, Maddie? Really good question. No, I would like it so that there isn't this crazy prize package to post around. That's just being selfish probably, but it would be really nice not to have to deal with that, especially in this time with COVID and crap and shipping and stuff that you've really got no idea. Shipping's gone through the roof and all that. I'd rather not do that, rather not have anything come from overseas or wherever. But I would very much like a competition where everyone wins a little bit more than they do, rather than just being one or two major winners. I'd like something that everyone who enters gets something out of it, if it's on a more intense sort of a scale. If they're going to get some channel growth out of it, they get some real channel growth out of it. If they're going to get some viewers out of it, or some likes or some revenue from YouTube, I'd like to see that be a bigger thing. That's what's most important with it. And I'd like to see some structure and probably something that might happen, and this is pure conjecture, but what might happen is that we have the same upload date for all the videos. So this is the time that you put them up, all at once with a hashtag. That might be a really good thing to do. I'm not sure there's pros and cons on that, but that might be something that really works. It's worked in the past. So anyway, anyone with any really good ideas that they've thought through and they've actually got like some dot points to action, etc., is more than welcome to drop me a line and talk about it. Brendan, that's something I would love to do, and Paul, that's something I'd love to do. The trouble is it doesn't really work like that, because we're all international and postage rates are different. I mean, someone's going to pay postage from here to Melbourne or here to Sunshine Coast, which is going to take 3 days, and someone else is going to pay postage to New Jersey or to Pennsylvania or to London or to Kosovo or wherever. And the reality is that some of the parcels are going to get there, some of them aren't going to be posted, some of them, it's not something that is without stress, and put it that way. Here's Rustinox. I hope you're okay too. Good to see you. But yeah, make small stuff is one option. The other thing we could do is make something along the same lines, but it's like you could put conditions on you have to redesign a certain tool that has a similar sort of, we could do something like that. So everyone's got the same sort of outcome, but or start with the same materials. But this is prohibitive, and not everyone's got that capability, and not everyone wants the number 7 or 8 or 22nd oil can or Centre Finder or whatever like that. So I'd like to have a bit of originality in it, but and the Secret Santa thing is awesome, but I can't see how I can possibly make it work. One thing that might happen is that our upload date's going to be all on the same day. That might be fun with a hashtag. That's always exciting, and that works, and it's proven to give you some reasonable results. And probably, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, but we're still thinking about it, and hopefully, Poppy, that's given you some food for thought too, because haven't forgotten about it. It's just that I haven't really got anything to action on it. As yeah, so anyway, that's my thought process at the moment. I am sort of actively thinking about it and spending a fair bit of time actually like going over these things, and I've written some things down on a list, and I do sort of have a bit of an idea, but it's still forming, and we'll see when the outcome comes out. It might be good fun, and that's what it's all about. It's got to be something that's fun to enter and something that's fun to something you've got to enjoy. So that's where we're at. So yeah, that's fun, but not everyone was in on it, and not everyone had inspiration straight away. So I would like something that in the tips and tricks videos we did back in 2019, that was a huge success because everyone uploaded at the same time. It was a total hassle, and it was really complicated to make it work, but it did work, and it was pretty much a good success. And I think that might be an aspect of getting it to work. But that way too, you kind of miss videos and things as well. So, bit of work in making all that work. Still thinking about it anyway. Still thinking about it. Toolfest, John. Toolfest. Tip splits 19. Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome, Brendan. I'd really like to do that, but it's not going to happen. Maddie, absolutely. I'm down with that. It's certainly going to happen, but it's going to be a little while. It's going to be longer than we thought. And at this point, I'm trying not to put too much together with that. I'd love to have a bit of a meet up here, but we're a long way from from anyone. Anyway, that's what's happening with that. I haven't forgotten about it, but if I'm looking or sounding a bit quiet on it, it's because the wheels are just like every time I think about it, a fuse blows, and I've got to change that. That's about where we're at with it. Anyway, this has dragged on probably for long enough. Everyone makes a tool for the same day. That's John, that's kind of going to be part of it. Absolutely. Might be fun. We might do something like that instead. Be excellent, actually. But there's 1,000 projects and 1,000 tool making projects, but just got to get in and make one, and probably no time limits, no nothing on it. If we've got a due date, everyone can start it the day before and finish it the week afterwards, and that'll mean nothing, which is what people do from experience. Unless you hound them and 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 hound them. And apparently I'm good at that. So at this point, that's something I'm dreading too, is just emailing people and emailing and email people so that they actually make sure they've got even the smart ones have got the rules right, because it's complicated. But there may not be a tool making competition as such, but there will certainly be some sort of an event. Put it that way. We'll have a think about it. Anyway, I'm going to call this. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I hope I've got you thinking about that. If you've got ideas, that's great. Jump on Discord and share them, or send me an email. I'll probably read some of them. You're not guaranteed any sort of answer until I actually got processed what you've sent, which could be a few months or a week or something, So anyway, I'm going to call this. Thanks heaps for joining in. Really appreciate your company tonight. Hope that everything's going well wherever you are. Thinking of people who are struggling a bit. People in Germany and Belgium and Europe who are underwater, have got issues, that really, really worry about you guys. And anyone who looks like it's going to rain, I'm pretty much saved from that. But anyway, that's the update, and look forward to next week, and we'll say more soon. I'm out. Be kind to each other.